Welcome to Namma Vetri IAS Academy. We are going to see current affairs. The first thing is World Elephant Day is on 12th August. This question is for both prelims and mains, not only for UPSC but also for TNPSC and some other state service examination and also for railway examination. World Elephant Day is celebrated on 12th August. Currently, India we are having 33 elephant reserves and 150 elephant corridors. And India is home to around 60% of world elephant population. So this thing is useful for both prelims and mains. In mains, environmental paper will have questions about Project Elephant. And second thing is no funds for education. This thing is particularly for sociology and human development index. Like these questions you will have. So Telangana government spent around 11% of its money in budget for education in 2015, and it reduced to 7.3% in 2022 and 2023. This is not only for Telangana but also applied to all the states after Corona. They had reduced their spending in education. This is the worst thing because we have to spend as much as on education to improve our for development of our country. So in 1795, Surendranath Banerjee, one of our national leader, has said that the British is spending only 7.5% of money on budget for education. But see the situation now. But we are Telangana government is spending around 7.3% only. But this is not only applicable to Telangana government, applicable to all the states. So the another thing is Geneva Plastics Treaty Organization. What is a plastic? Plastic is not good for our health, but also for our environment. So we have to eradicate plastics. So the convention has been set in Geneva for plastic management. There are two types of arguments in there. The first thing is we have to cut the plastic production. We have to cut the plastic production, and the second thing is we must have the good management, plastic waste management disposal. Uh, on that, US is what saying means US is saying that US government is saying that yeah, we are needing the they are saying that we are need a strategy and treaty on this, but they are saying that we are not ready to cut the plastic production because cutting the plastic production is impossible thing because we are using plastic in our day-to-day life and everything and every place and every time we are using plastics. So one thing is we must have the good waste management disposal about plastics, and people has to be educated on that, and the government also must also have frame some laws for plastic waste disposal. So that is very basic needed. So this thing is useful for useful in global warming related questions. And another thing is ethanol blended fuel. Ethanol blended fuel means ethanol can be used as a fuel for our vehicles. In 1970s only we had started using ethanol as a blended fuel because in 1970 we had a shortage. We had a crude oil shortage from the Middle East. From the crude oil only, we are extracting petroleum, kerosene, and aeroplane white petrol. So, and some other essential fuels are extracted from crude oil only. So, due to that shortage, we had used ethanol. Ethanol is made from molasses only. Molasses, a byproduct of sugar cane. After getting the juice from the sugar cane, we are used molasses for ethanol preparation. So, we can use ethanol for ethanol as a fuel, especially for BS2 norm vehicle. BS2 means Bharat State 2 norm vehicles. That kind of engines capable of using ethanol as a fuel. And one thing we have to remember means we can use ethanol, but we want ethanol means from molasses only. For molasses, we need sugar cane. Actually, Indian government is currently planting sugar. Indian farmers are planting sugar cane for commercial purposes like jaggery only. They are not planting sugar cane for ethanol. So, if for ethanol means they have to plant separate sugar cane only, and for separate sugar cane means that cultivation must not affect the forest area and must not affect the other cultivations like rice, maize, wheat. That must not affect. So we have to remember that. Next thing is India must have norms to keep sacred relics from being sold. What that is means, you people heard about statue theft. For example, Kanchipuram statue has been stolen and been sold in London, and some of the important things like Mahatma Gandhi's specs has been taken from India and that's been sold in London museums and Kohinoor diamond. Like these things, like these things are happening. So India is not having the proper framework. For example, in 1780, one of the physical remnants of Buddha has been taken from Uttar Pradesh and has been placed in Hong Kong Museum. And a few days back, they had set up an auction to sell that Buddha's remnants. But our Indian government had as had strategically had a talk with that government in Hong Kong, and they stopped the auction there, and they also talked with the museum there. So, as of seeing that, Indian government is not a national government is not having the proper framework for this ideal stealing and auction. So, India must have the proper framework, and we must have the data of the each and everything. We must have the data because it's not about the things; it's about our culture and about our heritage. So, we must have to preserve it. India must have the proper national frameworks for that, and India must also have good connection with the international frameworks for this. And the last thing is eighth high level meeting between. Yes, this question is particularly for mains answer writing in national security. What this means, eighth level of high level officers meeting on Indian Coast Guards and Sri Lankan Coast Guards. Sri Lanka is what our neighboring country. It's just around only 40 kilometers from India. So we must ensure good security there. So government is having good talks with their coastal Sri Lankan coastal guards there. And yes, before 15 years back, the fishermen in South India, Tamil Nadu, they suffer a lot due to Sri Lankan coast guards. But now the situation has changed. Hopefully, so after this eighth level of talks, there will be good relationship between India and Sri Lanka, and this is also going to be a good thing for Tamil fishermen also. Thank you. See you on next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Telegram. Thank you.